Come on in. Come on in. Might bring y'all closer. I feel like it's so far away. Hey guys, come on in. We gotta talk. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope everybody had a great day today. If you are where I am, it's raining. It hasn't stopped raining here in 6 days, maybe. I don't know. They say we're under flash flood currently. Hopefully we don't get flooded out, guys. I don't know. Come on in, share the live when you come in. Come on in, share the live when you come in. We gotta talk, we have to talk. Hey guys, yes, come on in, share the live when you come in. You see how this is titled, and I gotta explain why I titled it this way, and something that I've noticed. It's titled Babies of Slaves. Now we're going to get into some old documents, and I think this is very crucial as it relates to what we're doing in order to get our race changed to American, not this hyphenated African thing. I have some smoking gun documents. You may want to share this live. We're going to read tonight. We gonna get the butter from the duck. I don't know. I may make this a series. I may go nuclear. It's no telling what I'll do in this series. I may make this a series. I may make a series called Babies of Slaves. Text a live out to one darky, one Negro colored. We gotta talk. First off, I want to start out by saying thank you all for your continued support of the channel. One thing that I noticed, which brings me to my title on tonight, Babies of Slaves, is on the last video. First off, let me start by saying this as people load in. It's my anniversary on this channel, guys. It's my anniversary on this channel. And this channel, I started as a backup channel from my other channel, my main channel that was targeted, sanctioned, and deleted overnight, literally in like an hour, like 6 hour span. My videos was mass flagged. For those of you who are new, we had a very large channel, very large history channel. My videos was mass flagged, and I just got back-to-back strikes on the channel, and it was taken down. Luckily, I had this channel as a backup channel because I saw how I was being targeted on the last channel, and I just started like mirroring some of the videos on this backup channel because we can go live on multiple channels. So I started this channel as a backup, and then once my channel was taken down 2022, in my organization, Allodial Nation, was stolen simultaneously. I launched this channel as the full-time channel. So it's my anniversary on this channel. August 2022 is when I came on here full-time and told y'all what was going on, which a lot of you guys follow me all over social media, so you knew that my main channel was deleted. Some of you all ran on it. We'll talk about that later. However, whatever's clever, it is my anniversary on this channel. Um, and so all of this kind of ties in together. I noticed something on that last video, which I'm going to show y'all right now. On that last video, I made more money than I've ever made on this channel on one video. So I'm about to show y'all this. It's going to be shocking to some of you guys. And now when I show you this, I want you to think about the amount of history, current events, and just thought process all together that I have added to so many conversations. I want you to think about the fact that the actual history channel has mirrored my content. So many content creators. I made more money on the last video than I've made on any video. Check this out. And this is me showing you, being very transparent. Very transparent. And this is not even my highest viewed video. I made $170 on that last video. That's the most money I've ever made on a video on this channel on my anniversary. $170. And to some of you guys, it's just like, yeah, wow, I didn't know that. You probably thought I was making thousands per video, you know, because all these ads are all through all my videos. For some reason, that's my highest video, and I'll show you. I started screenshotting when I saw the video had made $170. I was so shocked, like so shocked. It made me think of something. It made me think there was something in that video I must have said that people gravitated to, and they must have watched it, replayed it over and over again, although it's not a high viewed video. And I have done a lot of work. I've put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of research, as you can see, for those of you who've been following me. Content creators have made more money off my content than I've made off my content. And I never gave up. I just said, let me just keep coming on, Let me just keep coming on, because something got to change. Something will have to change eventually, For reference, I'll show you a video on my channel that has more views than this one. And I'm just doing this as people load in. This is being very transparent. Many content creators don't do this, but I don't have nothing to lose, to be honest. Let's just do this really quickly. You can see for reference, so that nobody will say, oh, she's in this for the money. Baby, you have no idea. This video made $5.89. It was a full video. I chopped it down to 7 minutes, but it was a full video, very popular video that I had on here. A lot of information in the video. It made $5. It's my anniversary, so I figured I'd be transparent with you guys, because why not? As everybody load in. In comparison, it said the last video got roughly 12,000 views on it. 7,000? I don't know. Sometimes it shows different on the other side. Here's one with 12,000 views on this backup channel. That's now my full-time channel. I'm just showing you guys. $12. So I don't want nobody to think that I'm in this for the money. You know, because sometimes people get it twisted. You really shouldn't even see me. This video, my series on the Seminoles, somebody made a whole documentary on my breakdown on the Seminoles. I made $6 on that content. $6, guys. Just my anniversary. I may as well do this little bit before I get into the content. I'm just showing you guys. I'm just showing you guys. I just took so many screenshots. When I realized it was my anniversary, I just start taking screenshots of my videos. And just to reminisce, just to do a, analysis, if you will. I have not just broke down history on this channel. I broke down the government to the letter. I've exposed so much on this channel, guys. This video made $11. It was I mean, the shit that I broke down on that video. I mean, it's 3 minutes now, but when it was a full video, it really got shared out. You know, my videos about science that is now being talked about in the Senate hearings and congressional hearings that I was absolutely correct on. These are $3 videos, guys, and they're out, and I was right. And that's just where we are. So when I started analyzing this stuff, right, I said, well, maybe it's something in this video. Maybe it's something in this video. Because I know content creators that don't even put out research that can help anybody, that make a lot of mess. YouTube it's never been an incentive for me to come online and talk. Although my content is mirrored, it's totally mirrored. It's never been an incentive for me to turn on an expensive camera, expensive lights, put my expensive rags on, and get dressed and do content. Never. Ever. Never. It's never. And I guarantee you, I have read more documents and I know more history than anybody on here, because that's just how much time and effort I put in to make sure when I turn on my camera, I'm not repeating anybody. I'm giving you something that I actually sat there and read and analyzed and thought it through, and then I brought it to you. I do not like when people twist people's words, when people are just reacting off of somebody's content, or when people hear somebody say something and then they re-say it and never state the source. You guys saw that firsthand. A lot of you met me due to my research on Essence. And I told y'all somebody stand at the door for me, please. And y'all saw firsthand these same content creators who have been mirroring my content since I've been online. Okay, they've been mirroring my content since Who Stole the Cookies 2019. These same people refuse to mention that I was the one who did that research on Essence. And y'all start seeing it firsthand. People posting my content, not tagging me. They know who the girl in the video is. I'm very visible online. They definitely know that. But y'all saw firsthand. Some of y'all saw for the first time firsthand. Now, damn. Now, they really just said the girl name, shout out to Renee. Did they really just say shout out to Renee? Go support Renee for doing this groundbreaking research on letting us know that the African Union that made us sick. Who was Renee? Did they just shout out somebody else for making a petition? Amazing. Y'all saw it firsthand, but y'all did not know how long that's been happening to me. Y'all had no clue. I guarantee you, the people who took what I was saying and said, make sure y'all shout out Renee or all these other weird names that they called out. If they show you the back office of the content that they shared, it's more than $5. It's more than $6. It's more than $11. It's more than $170 because YouTube pays a lot of money if someone is not sitting there mass flagging your video. So I just wanted to share that with you guys as you load in. It's my anniversary. I noticed you guys liked that last video. I couldn't pinpoint what exactly it was, but I'm just going to ask you guys, what was it about that last video? For one, as a community, what was it about that last video? Which part? I did see a Mason say something on my video. A military guy did reach out to me. I don't know whether it was the military part. I don't know whether it was the files that I showed from the babies of slaves with the parents being killed. I don't know what was it, but I think I'm going to do this Babies of Slaves as a series. Thank me. Somebody say happy anniversary. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody said I want you on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I'm Queen Janice on TikTok, but every time I go on TikTok, I'm flagged and my video is taken down. The last two times I went on TikTok back to back, I was live on here and on TikTok, and this is people. This is a group of people mass flagging my content so that they can come back and mirror my content and make way more money off of it. Because they think I won't touch them. I think that's what it is. See, they think that I just like wasting my time doing research so that they can repeat tu por favor. I ain't touched them yet. They think I won't put the law on them. They think I won't run up in their house. They think I don't have bullets. They don't know how far I go to protect the integrity of my research. They don't know how far I go. And they probably want to test it to get me out the way. That's all I can think of. I can think of a myriad of things, but they probably want to test it to see could they get me out the way. But although I'm emotional, I'm not that emotional. Okay. I'm not that emotional to do anything crazy. I will, however, get the law on you. The reason why I haven't gotten the law on people yet is because I'm waiting for something from the Department of Justice concerning why, when I got doxxed on YouTube over my Bitcoin and all that shit was stolen. Whole file with the Department of Justice, Secret Service, and all these people are involved in this shit. When I get the reports back, I probably will come online and call names. Because, yeah, people got to pay. They're going to have to pay eventually. But all that to stop the truth from coming out, that's not even adding the fact that my devices and all that stuff, whole computer wiped clean. But when your computer is wiped clean, buy another one and redo the research all over again. Hey, the people gonna get the truth either way. And tonight we gonna talk. Tonight we're gonna get even more truth, because guess what I'm gonna do? I am going to read a book. Now, you guys told me, I asked a question on the last live. We were briefly talking about hate groups, and we were talking about being listed as hate groups, and whether I pointed out that the African Union is taking what we're doing here and saying it is the FBA that's boycotting the FBA on this, the FBA on it. And we came to a conclusion on this live that we need to pay attention to these people. Although we know who we are, although we know why the acronym was started, who is using this for the wrong reason? And I asked you guys, I said, did Tariq come out and say that he did not start this boycott? Or did he come out and say that it wasn't him who did the research on the African Union with this sixth region and this reparations and all that? I asked you guys that. And some people say, yeah, he did. I was looking for those videos. I couldn't find them. So if you can, for the person who said Tariq did do that, let me know where I can find those videos so that I could see. Because I want to make sure nobody's going to play in our face. Because although we know what it is, if we get this all the way to the finish, when, because it's not an if. I got smoking guns. When we get this all the way to the finish line, and you see the president and all these people start cutting reparation shit, what if they say something like, yeah, the FBA's got legislation passed to get us reparation? When if that is said, then you will see a leader emerge, and that leader will be Tariq, and Tariq will say, it is I guarantee you, it is I. Right now it's just a lineage online, but when tangible stuff happens, a leader will emerge, and it will be the leader whose name's on the trademark, who can make all the decisions. Now, if you're not doing no research on this subject matter and really pushing forward, what you not finna do is $5 me and take the research that I'm doing and say it is I. Because with some of the emails that I've gotten from you all, with some of the stuff that's coming from my side, no, we going all the way. We don't sleep. It's the Clintons, and the Clintons done got subpoenaed for this fucking African Union trip that they did with on this Epstein plane. Do y'all know these people done got subpoenaed? Do y'all know that started right here? No, we cutting the head off the snake. If niggas was not bold enough to cut the heads off these snakes, to get when you cut the head off the snake, the whole body dies. So everybody going down is what I'm trying to say. So either you was with us or you fucking was not. And I don't have time for no semantics of no acronym. I don't have time. You go by your race so that you won't be listed as a group. Period. Now, I noticed something while I was doing my my analysis for my anniversary for this backup channel that's now my main channel. And guys, in 2022, guys, I'm not gonna play this entire video, but I want to show y'all this. Please share the live, get people in here. I did watch one of Tariq's videos. I watched two of his videos. His last video I watched, because y'all told me he said, you know, he cleared it up, that he had nothing to do with any of this, because people are mentioning his name. They're saying Tariq, FBA, started the boycott. Whoa. Whoa. The Africans are doing that. I want y'all to see this. Guys, this is December 14th, 2022. Y'all see that? December 14th, 2022. Video titled, "Was Ellen's DJ Steven Twitch boss murdered? Biden give Africans reparation." I sat in my car, and guys, I had forgot about this. Had I not been doing a birthday analysis of myself, I would have completely not remembered this at all, guys. But look at me in my car, December 2024. I mean, December 2022.
Only you and the admins on the site will be able to see the page.
Let me see.
Files can show up.
Let me fast forward.
Your favorite.
Let me fast forward it. There's something I want y'all to hear on here.
Until we get the files up, then up. Genealogy pending. I'm paying for it. I shouldn't. What you try to do what from your citizenship, so they wouldn't even invited to the conversation. But he is pledging to give them $55 billion. Biden meeting with all the African countries. Well, they met with 49 African countries and I think 20-something African nationals, right? The countries that they didn't invite was Eritrea and Morocco. But they met for 3 days in Washington, D.C. And I think I know why they didn't invite Eritrea and Morocco. Because Eritrea and Morocco don't offer dual citizenship, so they wouldn't even invite it to the conversation. But
can y'all hear it?
Can y'all hear it?
Can y'all hear it? Can y'all hear it? Can y'all hear it? Before I keep going, can y'all hear it? Let me know. Can y'all hear? I got my chat is on a delay. Could y'all hear me just then? Let me know. Could y'all? My chat is on it. Well, maybe let me scroll up. I need to know whether y'all could hear it. Okay, you say yes. Yes. Okay, let me continue.
To give them $55 billion. Morocco, because Eritrea and Morocco don't offer dual citizenship, so they wouldn't even invite it to the conversation. But he is pledging to give them $55 billion. Biden just said he gonna give 49 African countries $55 billion to help with whatever Africa needs in order so that he may compete with China. Not only did he say that, something else caught my eye in that whole conversation. He said that it will give companies access to 1.3 billion Africans, which equals 3.4 trillion in spending power. I said, that's kind of strange. I said, that's kind of mighty strange. I said, ain't the Negroes in America and not spending power in the trillions too? So 1.3 billion Africans got a 3.4 trillion spending power. We in the trillions of spending power too. I think we either 1.3. Can somebody Google it right quick? What is the Black American spending power in America?
I'm about to make a point. That's why I'm showing this.
It's either 3.4 trillion or 1.3 trillion. It's some really funny stuff going on. Some really fishy stuff going on. I said, now, is this a doggy whistle? I'm wondering, right? The companies that have signed on is General Electric.
And mind you, General Electric was on the PAC, the Pan-African Council board. He was a guy whose name was L something. He was the General Electric. I'm sitting here talking about it as it's happening.
The Cisco systems.
Cisco was on there.
Yeah, I think General Electric, GE has signed on 1.6 trillion. Okay, 1.6 trillion for the 10 Negroes that they say are in America. They say niggas in America, we are the minorities. We ain't about 15 of us here in America. But we got a $1.6 trillion spending power. And that's the highest dollar in the land. That's the highest dollar in the world, right? So now Africans are about to get 55 billion from America. Says somebody says it's 1.8 trillion. Well, we're the prisoners of war, exactly. We're the Negro slaves. The slaves. He literally used reparations for black folks as a point to get into office, and we didn't fall for it, man. Exotic. The people who voted for the right to vote fell for it. Like I said last week, raise your hand if you're stupid. Raise your hand if you're stupid.
I'm finna make a point in a minute.
We didn't fall for nothing.
As this was happening in 2022, I parked my car. When they went live, I pulled my car over and I brought that shit to y'all hot off the press. I said, y'all, these people said they were getting the Africans $55 billion in reparation. Fast forward to 2025. I'm sitting here from Essence going backwards. When I brought this news to y'all in 2025, but the 55 billion ended up turning into 65 billion. Y'all, guess why I didn't stay on this path? The reason I didn't stay on this path, on this 55 billion, because a week later, my door got kicked in and my house was ransacked. December 2022, a week after I made this video, my door was kicked in and my home was ransacked. And if it wasn't for me realizing that it was my anniversary on this channel, I wouldn't even thought to go back and replay all of this stuff. In 2022, I was trying to bring to you guys that Biden used Africa to move $55 billion and give us nothing, all while using our spending power. It's the exact same thing I'm talking about now. I attempted to bring it to you all in that video, but my life was turned upside down. Literally turned upside down for talking about it. Maybe that was a trigger point that got my door kicked in. I don't know what was the trigger point. But it looked like it was a really serious matter. So when I'm in 2025, bringing this stuff back to you guys, please understand, I don't care who fall. I don't give a fuck who fall. I don't give a fuck if it's your favorite YouTuber, your favorite TikToker, whoever is involved will fall. Whoever got a piece of that $55 billion, I don't give a damn if you ain't got but $100 of it. If your name was on the dotted line any kind of way, any kind of where, your ass going down. Y'all, look at everybody. Look at everything that's happening in the media right now. They just said Kamala running mate moved $100 million. He being investigated for $100 million that he moved. What was the name? Walks? Tim Walks? Who it looked like he came out of nowhere, but no, it was a group of niggas and a group of white people working together. They moved $55 billion. They split $65 billion. They split $65 billion and did whatever the fuck they want to do. Now, everybody's trying to put the pieces together because of how viral it just recently went on our channel. And we got it up to the White House, got the White House attention. Put the White House attention on the African Union and how the Clintons tied into the Epsteins on this African trip. In particular now, the Clintons tied in Epstein a myriad of different ways. But what you hear the White House specifically talking about is the African trip. The reason why they're talking about the African trip is because they're following the money, just like we're following the money. They following the fuck. Where the fuck did all that money go? Is this a slush fund? Is this your killers? Is this your mercenary fund? Is this how you all got mansions? But you use the story of Black Americans, Negroes, coloreds in order to get it done? As if you was helping us, but you helped yourselves, and then got mad at us because your little plan to get Kamala in to continue your little money slush fund killing spree didn't go through. Now you're mad. Organized crimes and all this stuff is going on in cities now. You're probably using that same slush fund of 65 billion, which started out as 55 billion in the actual legislation that I saw here and read weeks ago. It said that it went from 55 billion, the same 55 billion I was talking about before my door got kicked in. And it went from 55 to 65. And Denise Mantley, who came in with Barack Obama, who was put in place by the Clintons and the African Union and the Prime Minister. Everybody being investigated. I don't give a fuck who go down. And we have our popcorn. That being said, when we get all this shit done and corrected, I don't need nobody put no FBA stamp and attaching it to it. No, our race is making this happen. We are tired as a race. We are not tired as a 3-letter organization. I don't give a fuck what you call it. ADOS, FBA. That's some internet shit. No, this shit is happening in real life. My door got kicked in real life in real time. Even before my door got kicked in, I was already getting death threats in real life in real time. Yeah, I just showed y'all. I didn't make no money off this content. Everybody has the ability to watch a congressional hearing. Everybody has the ability to watch when these presidents sign these executive orders what they're saying. It was not just my responsibility to watch. Anybody who's on here saying they do history, you have to watch this because you have to archive it in a way. If you are into history, you are archiving shit like this by default. So you must watch these congressional hearings. You don't wait until another YouTuber is doing it and then mirror their content. Like, oh yeah, because what had happened was. No, you mirror it because you are in the history sector. You're an archivist. You're not a historian unless you're just making up revisionist history. You're an archivist. Shut alive, guys. Click like in here. It's my anniversary. We're gonna celebrate by going nuclear. I did watch the Read last broadcast, and because y'all pushed me to read content because I was trying to see whether he's cleared it up, and I did hear him say something about we were already here, and we are the Asiatics. Okay, the Asiatics. I said that in the last broadcast. This is not a Tariq bashing party. I am just analyzing people's words because I want people to clear this shit up. Because the people we're lining up and putting in place, don't nobody say nothing about no FBA in real life. We just allow people to call us this on the internet, guys. We don't. But if y'all are saying FBA is the Asiatic people who are indigenous over here, that's another thing that's grossly incorrect. Grossly. That's a Moorish talk. That's a Moorish talking point. And I want y'all to understand the Moors who were historically white. They had multiple ways to get themselves into America. They've been trying this for a long time. They've had multiple ways to get themselves into America, guys. 1, the slave trade. 2, by saying they were the black Europeans and the people who were over here were black Europeans. 3, by saying they was Asiatic and the people who crossed over from Asia were the first people who populated America. There's 3 ways. 3 ways. Same organization, same people, but they put content creators out to split it 3 ways. How do I know this? Because when the Moors stole my information and when they was targeting me online, I was doing a flowchart. I was obsessed, guys. I started doing flowcharts of all these fucking people, all these content creators, everybody who they was connected with. I started doing flowcharts of the information they said. I could close my eyes. I know who's talking. I was picking out who was saying certain things in my content, in my comment section. I knew what was going on because I'm like, well, if this group of people is targeting me, then I need to figure out why. Cause I'm not just gonna sit back and die. Maybe they've targeted somebody else, and the somebody else who they targeted just sat back and was targeted and murdered. That's not gonna be my story. I want my 7-figure life insurance policy to have a revenge clause so that if something happens to me, here's a flow chart. Here's the amount of money for this flow chart. That's how obsessed I had got with protecting myself, guys. It became my obsession. So what I did today was I went back in my archival of Asiatic, and I pulled out something, guys. I said, well, let me just do this since my files are now showing up on US lineage. So when I launched US lineage, which is supposed to launch on the 13th, guys, that's the official launch date, the 13th. That was decided this weekend. The official launch date, 13th. And this will pull from a myriad of databases. NARA, of course, Ancestry, Fold3, and it's gonna also pull from my personal database. So it's a lot of databases. In my personal database, I got CIA files, FBI files, a lot of stuff that was once classified that's now declassified, a lot of stuff that's declassified under the radar that you don't even know that's declassified. A lot of that stuff is in my archive that's separate, but you'll get to see it on here, right? So I went in and typed in Asiatic Indians because I'm very familiar with this, but I just want to make sure that I still have this document in my archives. So now you will have you too will have access to this document. Please let me know if you guys can see my screen so that I can read this to you. These are government files. Please let me know. Can y'all see my screen? I want to make sure y'all can see my screen. Please click like in here, and I want to make sure you guys can see my screen as I read you guys this smoking gun, because this is about babies of slaves. This is about babies of slaves. Okay, you guys can see my screen. Okay, well, let's continue. This is a government document. You may be able to pull this from census records. We also have the census database. I think the census database is possibly being put on the site right now. We'll make sure everything is there before the 13th. It'll be there way before the 13th, but okay, let's just read. Circuit Court of the United States, District of Massachusetts. Okay. Halajian and other petitioners for naturalization. Opinion of the court, December 24th, 1909. Please follow along. Please share the live. Click like and please share the live. Lowell J. 4 petitioners presented themselves for naturalization. They were examined and, except as stated below, were shown to be duly qualified for citizenship. All testified that they were Armenians by race. Haladijian was born in Anatab, Ikmakjian at the Krana Jirat. These places probably not even on the map anymore, guys, by the way. I'm not sure. Or Diyar Bekir. Moradian at Adana, all in Asiatic Turkey. Bayentz was born in the suburb of Constantinople on the west side of Bosphorus. I find that all were white persons in appearance, not darker in complexion than some persons of North European descent traceable for generations. Their complexion was lighter than that of many South Italians and Portuguese. The United States opposed the naturalization of all persons upon the ground that they were not free white persons. Please, please, please understand. Please, please let me know that y'all can hear me. Please let me know that you guys can hear me good. The United States opposed the naturalization of all persons upon the grounds that they were not free white person. You people look at your neighbor right now and say, if you wasn't free white, you wasn't coming over here. Look at your neighbor and say, if you wasn't free white, you wasn't coming over here. Mind you, I already showed y'all documents of sentiment, darkies, 1700s, already over here. Because see, this is about babies and slaves. We get the butter from the duck. This is call this part 1. Okay. If you were not free white persons within the purview of statute section 2169, that is what made people naturalized citizens. Let me know if you guys are still in here. I don't hear my chat going off. Are you guys still in here? Or am I just on a delay? I might just be on a delay. I might just be on a tiny little delay. Let me know if you guys are in here. Hey, auntie. Let me know if you guys are still in here. Click like if you guys are still in here. Why is my chat on a delay? Hold on. My chat is on a huge delay. Let me know if you guys are still, because my chat is not moving at all. Let me know if you guys are still in here. I see Facebook still in here. Let me know if you guys are still in here so I can keep reading this document. This smoking gun document. YouTube, are we still in here, YouTube? Are we still in here, YouTube? My chat is on a hill. Why is my chat on? I cannot see. I only see comments from TikTok. I only see comments from Facebook. I don't see comments from YouTube. YouTube? Are we still in here, YouTube? YouTube, are we still in here, YouTube? I only see Facebook comments. Let me see what's going on. See what I'm saying? Y'all don't get in your feelings now. Don't get in your feelings now. We're reading. Y'all said something about Asiatics, so let's read about the Asiatics. Let's get the butter from the duck. So don't get mad and start sending your people to flag the video. Let's get the butter from the duck. This is about history. We're trying to get our name unhyphenated from this African stuff. We're not trying to play around. We don't have time to waste. Okay. We don't want to be on YouTube or any other platform wasting time. I need all of y'all to click like in here, and I need to see if YouTube, why is my, I can't see any comments from YouTube. Let me see. Hold on, because I got to read this document to y'all. I don't see any YouTube comments. I just need to make sure that YouTube is still. Why aren't any YouTube comments coming up? Let me see. Yeah, there are no YouTube comments coming up right now. That's strange, ain't it? Y'all don't think that's strange? Let me see something really quickly. The last comment I got from YouTube was, I wonder, does Indian confuse us with East Indian people in Asia? And I have nothing else from YouTube. No more comments from YouTube for some reason. YouTube. I'm still live on YouTube because I'm live on this phone, but for some reason the comments aren't coming from YouTube. For some reason, I just want to make sure y'all can hear me and this is documented. They're probably about to send their their flagging parties here to me to try to flag my video or something. Somebody said YouTube chat crashed. Yeah, I just lost 100 people out the chat. It just dropped all the way down. Okay, yeah, it just dropped the chat. The chat numbers just dropped down. So the chat numbers got to come back up some kind of way. That's wild. That okay? See, that's what I'm saying. Do I have to say it? Do I have to say it? Read between the lines of the gatekeepers. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. Mm 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 mm. No. Okay. Okay. Nah. 500 people did not transfer to Facebook. Some people transfer to Facebook. No. No. People are on YouTube. Their comments are just not being shown. It's like I could not see YouTube. I could see their comments now. Prior to, I could not see. YouTube just stopped cold turkey once I start reading this Asiatic file that goes in, that's actually in our government documents that shows who was being naturalized over here. If you were free white, you can come in. If you was not, you couldn't even get over here. And I'm proving a point. See, this is me going nuclear. I'm just trying to prove a point of who was the babies of slaves so that there will be no confusion going forward. Let's continue to read. Somebody said they can hear me on both YouTube and Facebook. They have okay, thank you. Okay. Continue to click like and get more people in here so that we can get the chat numbers back up, guys. Okay. Yeah, I can see the chats now. The chats just popped back up. Thank you, guys. Somebody said love the content. Thank you so much. It's moving now. Yes, thank you. Please, let's get the numbers back up. It should be. We should have 3,000 people in here because this is the only channel that's not recycling content. This is the only channel that's so I can guarantee you there's nobody that's read this file before. They don't even read file. They just wait till somebody say some cool shit online and then they go research it and then they come and give it to y'all like it's fresh content. Let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. I find that all were white persons in appearance, not darker in complexion than some persons of North European descent traceable for generations. Their complexion was lighter than that of many South Italians and Portuguese. The United States opposed the naturalization of all persons upon the ground that they were not free white persons. Within the purview of Statute Section 2169, which was how they determined whether you would be a naturalized citizen or whether you'd be able to come over here or will you be sent back to the house, sent back to your country. The assistant district attorney submitted a brief in opposition to the petitions and referred the court to certain letters written by the Chief of Bureau of Naturalization. The argument contained in the letters being adopted by the United States as its own. The court has also been aided by a brief filed in support of the petitions by two members of the bar in amicia curiae, and it has welcomed notes and references which other persons have furnished it, attracted by the importance of the case. Now, this is going to talk about Africans. I want to make sure y'all in here. Okay? Let me see. I got to enlarge this. I got to get close. Brief mention should be made here of a sentence found in one of the letters referred to, which was addressed to an assistant district attorney of the United States. This office must request that you will oppose the granting of naturalization to Hindus or East Indians, and that you will instruct the clerk of courts in your district to refuse to accept declarations of intentions or to file petitions for naturalization upon behalf of each alien. The second request was made without due consideration. The clerks of the federal courts are not subjected to instructions by district attorneys or by the United States itself as a party to the judicial proceedings, that a clerk should refuse to file a petition for naturalization which contains all proper allegations because of his judgment of the color, race, or other qualifications of the petition would violate the clerk's official duty. The clerk may, as an act of personal kindness, call the statute of 1882 to the attention of one who appears plainly to be a Chinaman. We're getting into the Asiatics. This is 1880 fucking two, guys. A Chinaman, and may suggest that his petition will almost certainly be dismissed. Y'all weren't allowed to come over here if you was Asiatic. Okay, let's keep going. But if the petitioner persists, the petition must be filed. The Act of 1882 forbids the naturalization of Chinaman. It does not deny them access to the courts. It forbids them. Revised Statistics, Section 2169, reads as follows. The provision of this title, naturalization, shall apply to aliens being free white persons and to aliens of African nativity and to persons of African descent. African nativity and African descent. Okay. The phrase free white persons dates from the early federal statute regulating naturalization. The Act of 1790, Chapter 3, 1 Stat 103, provided for the naturalization of any alien being a free white person. The phrase was repeated in the Act in 1795, Chapter 21, Stat 414, and in the Act of 1802, Chapter 28, 2 Stat 153. The same language was used in the sundry letter modification of the law. The Act of 1816, Chapter 32, Stat 259, Act of 1824, Chapter 186, 4 Stat 69, Act of 1828, Chapter 116, 4 Stat 310, the Act of 1862, Chapter 200, Section 21, 12 Stat 597, provided for the naturalization of any alien being an honorably discharged soldier without qualification, and seems thus to have provided that any person of class described might be naturalized irrespective of color. He who had rendered military service deemed worthy of citizenship in the earlier statute of the requirements of white color was expressed at the beginning of the section, which provided generally the conditions and methods of naturalization, section which corresponded to revived statutes, section 2165 through 68. The Act of 1870, Chapter 254, 16 Stat 236, permitted the naturalization of aliens of African nativity and persons of African descent. Somebody look at your name and say, nah, because our documents go back way before 1870. 1870. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, no, because we was already written in the Constitution in the 1860s. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, no, because my family heirs property was 1832. Look at your neighbor and say, no, because Queen Janice done found my family in the 1700s. She found my family in the 1600s. She found her own family in the 15 and the 1400s. Look at your neighbor and say the Africans wasn't even over here during that time. Look at your neighbor and say the babies of slaves didn't have shit to do with Africans. Also look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, that's why these goofy half agent, half historian people always say, oh, we can't trace our files past 1870. There's an 1870 wall. I just want you to look at your neighbor right now. I just want you to look at your neighbor and say anything at this point. Say ooh, ee, ooh, tang, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Whatever you want to say. How the Israelite agents be saying, read. Read. The Act of 1870, Chapter 254, 16, Stat 236, permitted the naturalization of aliens of African nativity and persons of African descent. So that means the 14th Amendment, babies of slaves, had nothing to do with people who were from Africa or people with African descent. Just like I read y'all the notes when the actual amendments were taking place. 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment. I read the notes from the senators who were writing these things. And they said in the notes to make these people citizens because they wasn't born nowhere else but here. They're not from nowhere else but here. They were talking about coloreds and Indians. This was about the people whose land, whose tribe, whose nation had just got ripped apart during the Civil War and before the Civil War, leading up to this full-scale war. Tribal people killed, mothers killed, daddies killed, the babies are left. There's thousands of tribes over here. We got 5 left. Now, based on where the people were killed, you know who they are. You know this group of people were killed in North Georgia. You know, although we just took the territory, you know that was former Coosa territory. You know this group of people were killed in South Georgia. Although we took the territory, you know that's Hitachi. You know that's Creek. You know that's Chehaw territory. Because these people were killed in northern Alabama, they don't have no parents. Or they're 21. They don't remember a whole lot. They just know that their daddy never came back from the war. And you done took the territory, so they don't know. You know that's Coosa territory, though. So you can push these kids or young adults who don't know much into the Choctaw. Because this is the tribe that we're putting over. These 180 tribes that we just destroyed, they're all going under Choctaw. And the Choctaws are hereby, by law, deemed to protect them. You know, this person got killed in Vicksburg, Mississippi. You know this person got killed in East Mississippi. You know they got killed. You know their parents got killed. You know their parents were murdered. But you know that it was Natchez territory. You know the territory because you drew maps and you went to war with the territory. So now you have people who are adults who they know what's going on. They know what tribe they came from, but you have all these babies. What do I do with all these babies? Babies of slaves. Now, the hoteps and the people who African Union pay good money to not say that they are a part of the African Union. Because you can't, everybody cannot admit that they're a part of the African Union. Some people got to be quiet. Some people have to pretend as if somebody got to blend in with the furniture. Or maybe you're not a part of the African Union. You could be full CIA, who is also connected to the African Union. You could be full Mossad. You could be a full Mossad agent sitting on your YouTube channel who is also connected to this African Union and this rogue American government that put all the shit together in order to get this group of people off the land, in order to make this group of people uneducated about this particular subject matter, in order to make this group of people unprotected, and in order to continue to the narrative that this group of people can't read, this group of people are uneducated. This group of people didn't know how to read. It was illegal for this group of people to read. It was da 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 da. It was da 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 da. These people don't know their native language. These people don't speak nothing but English. Da 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 da. The same document, it tells you that English was a mixed breed of people. Same document. English was mutts. But there was a language over here that was OE that goes all the way back to Latin that the people over here spoke. I may also read you guys a few interviews from when people were trying to put the darkies, cinnamon colored, as I read in the book, full lips. We're trying to put the pieces back together after the war. And they said, I know that child right there. His parents were such and such. And they said, okay, was it Choctaw? Well, yeah, it would be Choctaw territory. So yeah, he need to go in the Choctaw tribe. Now he needs some protection. Now he need his land. Full interviews of random adults, darkies. It's the Bertha. We need to name this. I'm gonna call it the Bertha Jackson theory. The Bertha Jacksons of the world. We're pointing out children who they know, who they remember in their tribes, whose parents just got killed in this war, and saying, no, that child one of us. No, his parents spoke full Natchez. No, his parents spoke full Narragansett. No, he one of us. That's our child right there. No, it's not the last of the Mohicans, because that child, those two kids right there, their parents were full Mohican. Well, I know y'all gonna make it start bridge, which is gonna go into the Creek territory, but we just letting y'all know the parents was Mohican. The parents was Mohican. Now, if y'all want to make them Creek, that's fine, as long as they protect it, as long as they get what their parents was leaving for them, as long as they get their inheritance, we cool. But I need to make sure that you guys protect these children, because they're not. My chat doing something funny again. I want to make sure y'all in here. Every now and then I have to come back on the screen and make sure y'all up in here, because I know I'm on a big delay. I'm watching it live on YouTube. I'm on a huge delay. It's probably flagging parties. They're probably mad. I don't know. Guys are probably mad. But the chatters stopped again. They're probably mad. I don't know, guys. They're probably mad. I can go there. I could take it there. I could take it there. It's no problem. It's absolutely no problem with me, guys. Absolutely no problem with me, guys. I just had to pull the screen up to make sure y'all still in here. I want to make sure you guys are still in here. Okay, you guys are still in here. Still, let's see. Let me see. Let me see. Yes, please click like. Please click like, guys. They don't like when I start talking about this kind of stuff and giving y'all the real information, guys, but I'm sorry. I just don't have time for the bull. I don't have time. I don't have time, guys. I don't have time. I hope you guys looked at your neighbor and told him something. Let's keep going. Let me keep going. There's something else I want to read you guys. I wanted to read you guys an interview. Where is my interview? Department of Interior. Let me see, where's my interview? I can't find my darn interview. Dang, I had my interview up. I got so many files up, guys. I'm just, I just want to make sure you guys know what's going on. I just want to make sure you guys know what's going on. Let me see, is this it? Because I want to say the Freedmans were African. The Freedmans had nothing to do with Africa. Freedmans weren't African either, guys. They just weren't. I had an interview pulled up from, who is this? Louisa, it's the Adams. 68 years, not that one. Affidavit. Hold my mule, guys. Hold my mule. Don't leave. Hold my mule. I wanted to show y'all something. Freedman. Let me lower that one. Let me see, what is this? Hang tight. George. Where is that interview? I know I should have labeled it. That's War of 1812. It's Negro families in here. War of 1812. Survivor's pension. William Denson. War of 1812. I kid you not. Please look at your neighbor and say the niggas was already here. You might not have been here. Telling you might have an 1820 wall, but most of the black folk don't. That's from the War of 1812. Niggas was still grabbing pensions all throughout the 1800s for the War of 1812, which was Indians. And you wasn't even getting over here on the land if you wasn't a free white person. And by white, they literally was talking about skin color. As I just read you in that document, they was talking about skin color, light skin or dark skin. If you was visibly white or visibly black, if you was visibly black, you wasn't even coming over here. You was not coming to America. You weren't at all. They was not letting you through the door. Period. So who was all these Bertha Jacksons and who is this Jefferson family and who is this? Who is these Adams people on these Freedmen's Road? Please, somebody tell me something. I'm tired of the water being muddy. I am tired. I'm personally tired. And we don't need nobody in the way. This is a Cherokee. Let me see, what file is this? Now I'm just opening this. Hold on, guys, cause I've been in. Hold on, y'all. Let me open this up. Who is this? The Department of Interior. This is Cherokee Free. Yeah, let me read this. What's this saying? You can, yes, sir. Let's see. Let's go. Let's read this one. I done read this file before. I just don't remember. This is not the interview that I was looking for. Department of Interior commissions the 5 civilized tribes. Let me see. Supplementary testimony in one of the Jack Star for enrollment as a Cherokee freeman. You see that? Jack Star was enrolling as a Cherokee freeman. Oh shit. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I can't zoom it back out now. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. It's about to piss me off. It's about to piss me off. Where did the damn thing go? I had this file on Jack Star. A whole file on Jack Star. Let me see, can I read? Let me see, will it act right? This is another file on Jack Star. But this is not the interview that I wanted to read. This is just something that keep popping up on my what you call it. Maybe this damn file keep popping up so I can read it to you guys. Because I was gonna do a whole different show where the people who are going into the freedmen, the people who are wanting to go into these tribes, like I said, I think you should be very strategic. I don't think your whole entire family should go be a part of these tribes. I think you should select one person out the family and go get all the benefits and then come back and start a business around whatever benefits you get. Like, you know, there are land set asides, there are royalty set asides. I think you should send one person. So I just want to read this so you can know the freedmen's did not have anything to do with Africa, because you would not be over here. The freedmen's were literally people who, during the Civil War and wars leading up to the Civil War, all these wars were to take the tribal land from all these darkies, all these cinnamon colored, copper colored people who was over here on the land, take thousands of their tribes, move them out of the way, take the land. That's what the war was all about. And when you have all these slavery stories, these were people who were already here. Okay, they just lost their nation because y'all just took their land. Y'all just took North Carolina. You literally just took South Carolina. You just took it. So when you take it, you put these people in captivity. There are stories of this. I've made documentaries about this. I have a whole documentary on I have a whole show on Apple Podcasts about what happened in South Carolina when you took these people and then you made them prisoners of war. After the war, because they were a prisoner of war, they would become ex-slaves. Because making them a prisoner of war mean they work for free. That's what you call slavery. And the actual rolls list these people who are indigenous to this land, who did not come over on boats, who were dark-skinned, chocolate, cinnamon, copper-colored people. You listed them as slaves by default of you taking their land, making them prisoners of war, making them work for free in these concentration camps on their own heirs' property. After that, you listed them as a slave. When they were free, you listed them as a freedman. Supplemental testimony in the case of Jack Star for enrollment as a Cherokee freeman. Sam Weber, being sworn and examined by Commissioner C.H. Breckinridge, testified as follows. Mellett and Smith, applicants, attorneys, and J.S. Davenport, Cherokee attorney. Raise your hand if you know some black Davenports. Please stop. Please stop. Give me your name. Sam Weber. How old are you? About 58, somewhere about there. What is your post office? Nowata. How long have you lived in the Cherokee Nation? I was born here and I went out and came back in 66. That's 1866. And been here ever since. This Negro was born in the Cherokee Nation in 1866. He left, came back. This is an interview. What he trying to get was his. Okay. Do you know when he returned to Cherokee Nation after this war? Do you know when he returned to the Cherokee Nation after this war? Oh no, I'm sorry, I missed something. Do you know the applicant Jack Starr? Yes, sir. Do you know when he returned to the Cherokee Nation after this war? Yes, sir. When he came in fall of 1866. Who came first in the fall? You or the applicant? We come on little ahead. He came a few days after we moved. He settled there by us. He settled there by us. Where has he lived since that time? Right there where he settled. Has he a farm there now? Yes, sir. How did it happen that he did not get on the 1880 roll? I don't know. You had a patch and was cultivating it when he came, didn't you? No, sir. Didn't you have a roasting ear patch when Jack Star got down there? No, sir. Didn't have no roasting ear patch. He was mistaken then if he testified that you had a roasting ear patch when he came. He must be. I never had one until the next year. When did you come back down there, Sam? In July and went back and moved. What year in July? In 66. You came down before the treaty was made? Yes, sir. He was there before the treaty was made. That means they owned the land before the United States took it. That's what he's saying. Because when the treaties were made, that's the United States coming in and taking the land. Say, hey, we don't want to fight y'all. The white in the flag is the treaty. The red coats, the blue coats, and the white is truce. So this is just a little sidebar. So he was there when the truce, aka the treaty, was made. They say we're gonna be here, but we don't want to fight you guys. We're gonna let you guys say what happens on this land, but we just letting y'all know kind of that we're here because the war is over. It's 1866. Okay, so he was there before the treaty was made. He was there on the original tribal land before the treaty was made. And came back part of the next year. When we came to build, we left Kansas the later part of July and stayed until August. And stayed there until when? We went back as soon as we could put up some shanties and came back in the fall. Yes, sir. So they went somewhere and built some shanties and then came back to their land. Did you clear out any patch then? No, sir. Who was with you when you first came down here? Russell, Van, my father, Mike Sanders, Reuben Sanders. When the when the when this applicant came, who came with him? Uncle Dave Mays, St. Ann Mivens, and Caesar Smith and boys. I'm just calling out the Negro names who was here prior to the first document I read, y'all. Do the African natives nor African descent was over here before these people. And all these are darkies. All of them. Okay, I'm just trying to prove a point, y'all. He came then sometime earlier you came. Yes, sir. Not a great while behind me. Was Bill Martin living there on Big Creek when he came? No, sir, he wasn't there. Like I said, they killed people off the land, but because they knew the territories that the people were killed off or moved off, you knew who was on that land because you got chiefs, you got a hierarchy, you got a whole government there. It's an Indian government. These people wasn't just running around in feathers with bow and arrows. No, it was an entire government. You have a census of people there. You have these census are still available. Indian census from the 1940s, from the 1950s, of people in that tribe taking the census of their people. I have some of them too. I have a lot of these census records, right? And so you know who the family, you know the Martin family was on this land. You know they were Indians on this land. You know the Sanders family was here. That's how they can point it out in these interviews when they're trying to see how they're divvying up these land patents, how they're divvying up the money. Because when the truces were made, this came with money. It came with heirs property. And it just came with the United States government saying, hey, we're over here, guys. We're going to operate out this land, but we're going to pay y'all for it. It's the exact same play they're running in Africa today. While them dirty mouth, dirty foot Africans online talking negatively towards us. They running the same play on y'all, but it's just hundreds upon hundreds of years later. They're going to turn Africa into states. They're going to take the property piece by piece, and they're probably going to use the 65 billion fucking dollars of our American taxpaying dollars to get it done. Because, hey, we're in a modern era now. Or they going to scrap the whole project and see that this place is just a wasteland. We can't even grow over here for real like we can grow on that good Delta dirt in America. Because make no mistake about it, the white African farmers that went down there to South Africa, they already tried to grow. They couldn't grow what they needed to grow. They can't even grow. Never mind. Where was I? He came then sometime after you came. Yes, sir. Not a great behind. Where was he living when Bill Martin came on the Big Creek? Right there where he made himself a place. Has he been a recognized citizen up in that country or a disputed one? Well, I could not tell you all about that. Well, you have been around that country. Notice they're saying country because all these different individual tribes, thousands of them, operated as their own country. That's why when you hear Indian country, they mean it's a whole tribe, that thousands of people, possibly even millions of people in that sector, in that section. These places were countries before they were states. So this is them changing it slowly into states. Basically. Well, they still got to use the terminology as country. I mean, y'all still call us country today. It's the terminology is still used. But the Civil War basically changed the countries, the provinces into states. Had 13 states prior to the Civil War. After the Civil War, you got 50. Just in the span of 5 years. 4 years, really, because the war didn't even last that long. So, roughly, it's supposed to have been started in 61. From 61, by the time 1965 hit, that war was already over. And really, you didn't win. You just said, hey, we're just going to change it to state. And we said what we said. But you still, for these good Indians, you still have to use the terminology country so that they could know what's going on. Because you can't tell them nothing about, yeah, we was in New Mexico. You can't call out states like New Mexico and, you call out Arkansas because that territory never changed its name. Alabama territory never really changed its name. You can't say nothing like Georgia because that was not the country name for the people there. That was the colony name. The actual province name was different. The country province name was different. So they probably wouldn't understand North Carolina. They would probably understand it as Catawba country. So you have to talk. They was talking to these Indians were talking to each other in Indian speak, if you will. Anyway, that basically wraps with this. Was he recognized citizen? Have you been around the country preaching? Who were citizens and who are disputed. I have seen them let him vote, and sometimes they did not let him vote. They talking about voting and all kind of stuff. Has he been disputed? They call him a disputed citizen. There are a great many dispute citizens up there who have farms. Have they? Yes, sir. They have farms there, some that are disputed. Are you on the roll of 1880 as a freedman? Yes, sir. This is a whole full Indian, born in 1866. He was already on the land where his parents was at. He was on the roll as a freedman just because they made him, he was a baby of a slave. Just by default of being a baby of a slave. They put him as a freedman because they considered him a baby of a slave. He was a full-blown citizen. This was before. This is before the 1870s, before they started making African natives and people. And please keep in mind, by them putting in the books, African natives and African descent could now be citizens. I mean, could now be naturalized citizens, because our people were never naturalized citizens. Our people were just citizens. There was nothing in front of it. They was not letting no whole hell of a lot of people over here that was dark. Somebody just gave me a thumbs. I don't know. I don't care about you not liking this. I don't care about you not liking it. It's the truth is what the truth is. Now, if you want to give me a thumbs down, you go find some documents that say I'm lying. This is not a Janice file. I didn't make that file up. I didn't print that up. That's the Department of Interior. Where y'all like y'all allergic to go in there and look at the fucking files. If you allergic to the Department of Interior files, ain't no way you giving me no thumbs down on the video. A lot of y'all didn't even finish high school. A lot of y'all can't even read these documents but want to give me a thumbs down. Anyway, I'm just showing y'all the terminology, how it was used with even with this freedom stuff, because you have full-blown Africans over here that's going to try to say, well, our people was freedmen during the Civil War and we are of African descent. No, the fuck you were not, sir. Ma'am, you were not of African descent and a freedman. You just was not. And let's also be clear. The Africans who fought with the Union were murdered. And it wasn't a whole lot of them. And majority of them were white. They were murdered. And if they were still over here, if they still were able to be alive, and they were on the water for the most part. They had a Moroccan brigade fighting with the Union. I don't know how they did that, but there was also German brigades fighting with the Union Army. A lot of these men were on the water, never even made it into inland. But these were pirates, and somehow they got involved with the Union during the Civil War. Mind you, they had been going back and forth with America for a long time. At least it's files in there, at least from the 1700s. Somebody did ask me about the peace and friendship treaty. The peace and friendship treaty was a ransom note, because every time America would send cargo over there, the Moroccans would take the cargo and then tell America, we need X amount of dollars for this cargo to go through, or you're never getting this stuff back. They were just as treacherous as they are today. Saying these niggas was pirates. They were pirates. Okay? They were pirates. Okay? And so when you read the peace and friendship treaty between Morocco and America, that's why you see those dollar amounts in the actual treaty. Yeah, now I will give you the money. Just give us our stuff back. And please let this be the last time you guys seize our cargo. You guys seize everything that we send over there. Please stop doing that. Okay, that's what that was all about. I said all that to say this. It wasn't a whole lot of darkies from other places even coming over here on slave ships. That's what I said when they put the new slave base, because see, they drawing up some slave base databases right now. Some black folks doing it. Some black folks from Africa that then came up and been cosplaying this whole time. One of the girls is an actress. She got some involvement in it. I found this out on TikTok a few months ago, that they were cooking up a new improved slave database to go with they're cooking up some slave ships to go with the slave database that was created here in Atlanta at Emory University around 2015, called Slave Voyages. Had no ships attached to it, just some random ass names of some random ass people who were supposedly on a boat, who supposedly came from Africa, right? Now, fast forward 10 years later, they're probably using some of that $65 billion to cook up some boats. And I'm waiting for them to cook up the boats and release the database, and then I'm going to release a nuke. In fact, this is a nuke right here. This dispels all that bullshit they about to send over here. This is the boat. What port, baby? All these waterways were very operable We had men on the waterways. We had Indian seaman schools. And when I start dropping all these nukes all over the place, people are really going to look stupid. You was not able to get no slave ship in this bitch. And we had men already on the water. You wasn't able to get no slave ship in this bitch when our water military, our Marines, our people who we had on the water, the men in all of these Indian schools that were stationed all over the coast, all through as a circle around the whole United States, all these Indian schools, these Indian seamen schools, particularly all of these boat building centers that were here in America. You was not getting nobody on the water. You wouldn't get no slave ship on the water. They were tending your ass around and sending you back home. And the Flint River is this big. If they were sending people around, turning people around on the Flint River, I know they was doing it on the coast. You wasn't getting into South Carolina. They was sending your boat back. They was not letting you in here. They didn't need slave labor. They already had darkies over here. They was finna turn into slaves anyway. Because that was an employee back in that day. They wouldn't finna have your... I got nukes from the government files. They call these people monsters. I got nukes from the government files that call these people jungle, all kind of stuff. They wouldn't let them folk over here to come do nothing. They thought they was useless. Now, if they thought they was useless in the 1700s, and there's probably some darkies involved in these tribes who was writing this stuff too about these people being you. Who would let somebody from Africa over here for what? Why would we do that? It's millions of us over here already. If I need to work in the operation, I'm hire somebody in this tribe. It's millions of people in this city, in this country, in these individual countries. Why would we go all the way across the water and get an African? Why would I bring a dark Asiatic over here? When those Asians were coming over here, when the Asians were finally allowed to come over here, the Chinaman ma'ams, what they said, they brought the Chinaman ma'ams over here to expand the railroad. The yellow man were considered the Asiatics. Those were the Chinaman ma'ams. In this same document that I was reading, y'all, the Chinaman ma'ams were the Asiatics. Those are white people brought them over here. Because y'all done pissed niggas off so bad. Y'all done pissed the darkies off so bad. Y'all done came and took our shit and went to war with us. Boy, don't ask me to work nothing. You come down around this way, we gonna kill you at this point. So if you got a secret operation that you got going on, you better bring somebody else in here to do it. And that's when the plan was already fleshed out. And that's when they started colluding and operating in tandem in real time. And by the time World War I hit, China was fully involved as a partner. And China never left after that. They brought the damn kudzu over here. They brought the beetle over here to chew up all our chestnut trees, our wood trees, to stop our whole wood production. They brought the kudzu over here to choke up our farmland. The China has been destroyed, and they brought COVID over here. All because they was pissed off because the Indians over here didn't want China people over here. They didn't want China men over here. It's something that they knew that these people were. They didn't want a whole lot of folks over here. Didn't want white folk over here. But the white folks at least will do what they say. Or pretend like they'll do what they say. I just wanted to clear all this up so you guys will know this whole African grift. That shit is so fucking over. It is so over. It is so over. Please stop it. If you got a dashiki, burn it at the stake. Take it back there in the backyard, burn it. It's not a fashion trend. If you got one left, probably got one left in the bottom of your closet. Someone gonna burn that. If you got a red, black, and green flag, burn that. It's over. These people finna come out. These Cherokee, these New Creek people about to come out and say they was African. You're not. You weren't. They definitely wouldn't let no Africans in these tribes, and this had nothing to do with African slave children. It did not. They were not over here, baby. The men who were, like I was about to say, the men who were fighting in the Civil War, these men wasn't over here having baby. They was at war. There was no women over here at all that were African. None. Zero. And the American Colonization Society lied and said Phyllis Wheatley was an African woman. Lied. I have that manuscript of them lying, blatantly lying in order to use her as marketing material to get Americans to go over to Africa and colonize Africans. They said, look, we got one of the best black women that's an African descent. Her name is Phyllis Wheatley. Told a whole lie. Told a whole lie. And I done found the book where they lied. Deep, deep, deep down. Way down in the jungle deep, I found the book. Way down in the jungle deep. Oh, I can't wait to read it to you guys. Way down in the jungle deep. Yeah, and bamboo. Yeah, they brought all kind of shit over here. Yeah, kudzu everywhere. Just useless. Just useless shrubbery all over our good farms and choke up everything. It's just such an invasive weed. They were so mad and butthurt. We never paid China back for that. China still fucking doing stuff to this day. They never get payback. Somehow they're able to do stuff and then hide their hand. I don't know. Somehow they're able to do stuff BS and hide their hand. But guys, I'm here to tell you today, the storm is over. Nobody will be able to grift in our lifetime no more. It's over. That whole group of people, even the ones that loosely say they're a part, but they're not a part, but they are a part because we know you are a part. You won't be able to grift either. Nobody will. And anybody who try to get in the way of us getting this shit done is gonna be destroyed. I'm not playing nobody. Y'all seen how much I make off this. I don't have time for fucking games. I don't have time to play. I don't have time to play. With me making $5 a video, you know how homeless I'd be. I wouldn't be able to keep up with my lifestyle. I wouldn't be able to keep up. I wouldn't be able to stay afloat if I was just on YouTube on this bitch pussyfooting around. I wouldn't be able to keep up, guys. Somebody said slavery was a catchword. Propaganda. Yeah, you got slave files, you got all kind of stuff. You got white people as slaves, you got black people as slaves. It didn't matter. If you was in the military, you was considered a slave. If you was white military, you was considered a slave. So thereby, you have some people who were considered, I pulled out the files on Who Stole the Cookies Part 1. However, the files are still available. They're on Fold 3. Just look up slave schedules. I may come on here and talk about that again. There are slave schedules. There are different colors. There's a pink one. There's a green one. There's a gray one. They're all slave schedules, and they basically break down who was slaves, who got paid, who didn't get paid, what brigade they worked for, whether they was with the Union or the Confederate. Broke down all that. And we are to sit here and pretend like we do not see this stuff. That's what we are to do. Sit here and pretend like it never happened, guys. Only people who were slaves were the ones who came on the boat from Africa. No, why would they do that? They're not taking Negroes from America today and by the boatloads and taking them, dropping them off in Africa and turning them into slaves. Although they're actively turning Africa into states right now. It don't make no sense to do it when you got a whole population over here of people in mud huts. We can just turn these mud hut niggas into slaves. Won't that make more sense? We get to see it play out in our lifetime in real time. And I also want to make this clear. I want to make this clear too, for the people who feel like all the darkies over here was black Europeans with no basis, no nothing. You don't know nothing. They just be saying shit. Look at the inventions, guys. Darkies over here in America, as described in the book, invented turning water into electricity. Do you think these people can't name themselves? Negroes over here, colored, darky cinnamon color, invented the modern time system. Do you think they can't come up with a last name for their family? Negro colored, darky, cinnamon colored people over here were building boats before anybody. Why? Because we had the wood to build the boats and no one else did. Do you know how many boat cities are flooded? I discussed one long, long time ago back in the day. About I was talking about Peter and that flooded city right there, right at the coast of South Carolina and Georgia. It's just under the Savannah River. I actually put it in Who Stole the Cookies when I was going through all the Smithsonian identifiers saying what was flooded. It's a whole city right there bordering Georgia and South Carolina where they used to build boats. One of the main architects was a guy named Peter. It was a boat city. It was Austria. It was called Austria. Austria is underwater, just like the Austria over across the sea. This place was called Austria, and it's underwater. Major boat building. It wasn't even technically even on the coast. It was more so inland than not. But there was a waterway. And so now when you take a map of the United States and you look at all of these waterways, you're gonna see hundreds of rivers, hundreds of rivers. Negroes had boat building operations on all these rivers. If you was on the coast, then you had shipbuilding operations. All these boat building operations, all these Indian seaman schools. Hell, the Narragansetts ran an Indian seaman school. You had Indian seaman schools all the way. And I'm gonna get on here one time and go through all this stuff, of course. So we can really. I just want people to be empowered and see the full picture and stop transferring shit over to Europe and Africa. We didn't even like these people coming over here. We didn't. We didn't need nobody. America didn't need anybody. We don't need nobody today. America didn't need anybody. You build boats, you transfer your own cotton, you make your own wool. We got it's a whole city down in South Atlanta called Woolsey. It was a whole wool operation. Negro colored darkies in the creek, I guess it would be considered creek. It's a whole wool operation right here in Georgia. The whole city still named Woolsey to this day. And when you look at the history of the city, what they were making, the Indians was making wool. It's no different from the Indians in South Georgia, the Indians in Alabama, the Indians in Mississippi who were making cotton. They were farming cotton. They was turning cotton into wool and all kind of other fabrics. Jeans, all of that. We didn't need nobody. Nobody. So I don't allow my ears to hear people nitpick. Now, did no black people go to Europe? I'm not saying no black people went to Europe, because it was a whole tribe of Indians who went over to Europe. They was over in the area of Scotland. They got kicked out, of course, but they went over there. I think they were from the Iroquois set. The Iroquois. Either Iroquois went over there or somebody from the. I don't know. I think may have been the Algonquin. Somebody from the Algonquin, one of the Algonquin tribes may have went over there as a full tribe, as a military over to Scotland, and was over there occupying like we occupy territory in different countries today. A whole sector of Algonquin, and it could have been Algonquin, and I gotta go refreshing up on that section. So right now I'm either say it was either an Algonquin military set or Iroquois military set went over to Scotland and occupied it for a while until they came back over here. Now there's no telling what happened between that, but you ain't have no hellified niggas from Europe coming over here doing nothing but getting killed. That's it. Niggas came over here and got killed because we had the waterways covered. All the waterways was covered. These was not no regular men over here that sat idly by and just let stuff happen. Tribes were fighting amongst themselves. They were fighting foreigners. They'll fight you. They'll fight their neighbor. They'll fight a foreigner coming in with no problem, just like we'll do today. We might fight each other, but boy, let a foreigner come, boy. We beating your ass for sure. It's been like that. That's been in our blood. Now, if you don't have old enough DNA to have an unction about this stuff that I'm saying, then that means you're not from here. You might as well stop all that Indian talk. You might as well stop talking like you're Southern, all this. You eat gumbo and jambalaya and dirty rice, and you eat snow peas, and y'all used to pick field peas. You might as well stop with all that shit. Maybe your family came at the top of the 1900s or during the world wars, or maybe your family didn't get here until the 60s when Africans was actually able to come in. And we put it on the books that the people of African descent, that was for those Moroccans. The white ones, not the nigger face ones. Because if I would have kept reading that document, it actually differentiates white Africans and black Africans. They didn't want no niggas over here. Black, period. And the Hindus was the one that was called niggers before we were ever, before that terminology was ever used on us. And now that is in that same document that I was reading, where the Hindus were called niggers. They didn't want no niggers over here, period. Because the people who were over here who were dark were not called niggers. They were called aboriginal in this document. Anyway, guys, this has been my anniversary show. I really could do a whole nother show because I got a whole lot of other stuff to talk about. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's some people who I want to go off on. And just go nuclear on, because they say they do a whole lot of negative content surrounding black women. I don't like it. I don't know what I should do with this show. Let me thank some people right quick. Thank you for everybody who sent me a super chat. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you, Bridget. Okay, I'll call you. Thank you, Marcus. Marcus said YouTube crash. Yep, I saw it. Thank you, Kelia. Do you know what today is? It's your anniversary. Thank you, Kelia. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate it. She said you are loved. I appreciate it. Thank you, Josh, guarding my gates. I appreciate you. Stand at the gate. I just need a few good men to stand at the gate, because I'm about to cook them. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Ray. Mayo said good job. Thank you. Thank you, Kim Hunter. I appreciate you. You said, fuck you too, keeping your money. You got my support. I appreciate you, Kim. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate you. She said many thanks for what you do. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chief Baspo, for always supporting the channel. He said beautiful one. And guess what, guys? I appreciate you guys. I really do. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Thank you, Laura approved, for the super chat. Laura said, we see you, we thank you, we appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Russ. Said, can't wait for your site. Yes, it's gonna be all of our site, guys. This is not a Janice production. I am taking suggestions. People have been sending me stuff. Some of you all could not see the email, but it was contact. I said contact. I didn't realize I had it covered. But I can put the email back in if you guys like. It that word that was covered said contact. So some people did see it and emailed me. I'm going through you guys' emails, and I have talked to quite a few of you all, and people have very bright ideas. That's why I wanted to make sure I came on here to let y'all know, like, now this is a serious matter. It's some people that's involved that I didn't even realize. It's some big time. I am not saying that I'm small time. But guys, there's some people that done got involved that's in politics, and that's attorneys, that's just really trying to figure it all out. And just like this is hitting us at the same time. This is hitting all of us at the same time. It's educators, it's teachers, it's college professors. I done talked to the amount of people that I have talked to, guys. We are not going to sit back and let somebody say that's a fringe group of people that's trying to get. No, you ain't gonna be able to call us no fringe group. You're not gonna be able to call us no hate group. None of that. This is our race trying to correct something on the record. This is our race trying to get something corrected that you all have on the record. And by us getting this corrected, you guys won't be able to sit here and do a $65 billion grift. By us getting this corrected on the record, you guys won't be able to sit here and create pipelines for your children. You guys won't be able to take over the trucking industry. You guys won't be able to take over the merchant seaman industry. There's no way it should be Venezuelans on American boats operating and making more money than our guys make. You're not going to be able to take over the hair braiding industry. You're not going to be able to take over the beauty industry, period. That's our $1 trillion empire. Because Negro colored, darky, cinnamon colored women, we like to look good. We love being beautiful. You're not going to take over our industry. I don't give a damn what you think the Chinese and the Koreans did. Doesn't matter what they did. We handled them the way we handled them. You ain't notice they leave early and die out quick. But what you're not going to do in our lifetime is sit here and take over these industries. You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to sit here and keep stealing our tech ideas and then relaunching them. No, we got to get this shit corrected so they won't be able to keep doing this. And I don't know, we collectively, it's a Trump thing, I think the general consensus is that Trump is this and Trump is that, but he really did us a solid one with this whole, with closing the gate. With closing the border. He really did a solid with closing this border shit off. We threw him an alley-oop with this African Union shit, and so they can really see the swamp and see which swamp that they wasn't a part of, because if he was making some money out the swamp, he probably wouldn't have did a damn thing about it. Let's be clear, these people are about money. You have to talk to them as such. We're not the group of people that's finna avoid this administration. No, we ain't avoid nobody. We finna talk to everybody. We're gonna get this shit clear. Everybody getting a letter on letterhead. It doesn't matter. He did us a solid by closing these borders out. Cause boy, we would have been done. Now we can do something about this 2053 financial projection that has us going down to zero in wealth. No, now we can fight back. This is our way of fighting. This is one of our ways of fighting back. But no, because if you take our wealth down to zero, then what does that mean for the children in their 20s right now? They won't be able to buy homes. They won't have no money in the bank account. Y'all could take all the good jobs away from them. Y'all take all the opportunity for them to start businesses and operate the businesses where they can have an operating budget, where they can actually go in and get business loans. If we would have kept the gate open and all y'all get to call yourself African American, and it's all these fucking countries in Africa, what? Then all these countries in Africa get the quota on us. And now you getting the SBA loan. And now you got braiding shops. And now you got restaurants. And then when Daquan go in there, he can't even get nothing. Y'all done ate up all the money. No. This is not going to happen. You're not going to take scholarships away from our kids. No, and I'm glad. Another thing old boy did was shut all of them from being able to go to the PWIs. The land grant colleges. See? The land grant colleges that was built using our money that was stashed in the Freedmen's Bureau. We started reading that document the last show. These land grant colleges, Martin Luther King talked about it. A lot of other black scholars talked about it. Historians have talked about it. Y'all did use the money, but we never seen the documents. We didn't see the documents in our lifetime. Now we have the documents in our lifetime. I started reading them last week. I'll continue reading through these documents because there's a Freedmen's Bureau document about Pensacola that I want to come on here and read y'all. These files need to be brought back to the forefront, and we're doing it here. We don't have time for people to get in our way. So when we have attorneys trying to figure stuff out, lawmakers trying to figure stuff out, regular everyday people trying to figure stuff out, people in the chat trying to figure stuff out, we need to be able to back this stuff up with documents. Not just our opinion, not just our feelings. This is beyond our feelings. You can't go to a businessman like Trump and talk about your feelings. Nobody cares. How do we correct this? When you asking for reparations and restitution, your feelings can't you can't go with your feelings. You got to go with the facts. You got to go with the facts. Um, thank you. Ready to learn? Said we still here. Okay, y'all telling me that we still here. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate it. Here, okay, y'all sending me super chats telling me that y'all still here. Thank you, Marcus. They're trying to play games here. Someone crashed the chat. How did they do that though? Marine Corps history started as piracy. Or did it start as anti-piracy? That's what I'm saying. It's something that should be unpacked for sure. Was the Marines started so that all these people won't be able to come into America? Especially the pirates of Morocco, because the Caribbean pirates were nothing, because they was letting the Caribbeans was seeing like the Caribbeans was flowing back and forth for a long time. However, when the Germans start getting blocked from coming over here, the Germans went under the Morocco. The Germans started coming in as Moroccans. And then they stopped Morocco from coming, dropping shit off as merchants altogether. And that's on Congress.gov. Go put in Morocco, Germany, affair or something like that. And all those files will come up if you're willing to read them. And stop saying you're from the Moroccan Moorish Empire on social media. Go read the documents. Stop reading the documents that y'all are making up on the PDF and go read the actual what the government got. Because if you got any claim to anything, it's the government. Go through the government. There's no way Morocco was over here and y'all got files in the government saying that y'all was blocked from dropping shit off at our ports. You wasn't over here. You weren't. You was no Doug Demounja Amarushi. You just weren't. All you niggas got to get out the way. Cause y'all got paid to get in the way. Be ye not deceived. I got you, Vexing. Somebody just says must be some mores in the chat. I don't care about y'all getting mad. Get out your feelings. I was just talking about the feelings. I was just talking about feelings over facts. Get out your feelings. This is not about your feelings. The feelings is reason why we got nothing and Africa got 55 billion. 65 billion, I'm sorry. What's in it for America to give us reparation? There's a lot in it, baby. See, especially when you got thousands of black families going back out the land. Oh, it's a lot in it. It's a lot in it. Especially when you didn't burn the records. All the records weren't burned. You burned a lot of courthouses down, but what you didn't realize was people had already made copies of these records. So we can pull the record. You know. That's why I'm kind of glad that I was springboarded into starting this back up, because the last time I had the records, the art, it was a total nightmare. I didn't really know how many killers was around me at that point. I didn't really understand. I thought these people were baby mercenaries. I ain't know that they was real Mossad and real killers. I ain't realize that, guys. So I know I was getting hacked. I was getting all kinds. It was a total nightmare. You know, so I do have some kind of feelings, internalized feelings about kind of doing this all over again, where I'm launching my own personal database of records, which is probably millions of records, you know, and with all the other databases of records, it's billions of records. So this ain't no nothing that we could have built using AI. Baby, it's servers involved, it's money involved to house stuff, and it's a lot. And it was not on my bingo card to do this shit again ever. Just tell you that. It just was not. Damn. But with threats of them saying, "Oh, we're gonna shut the archives down," like somebody I had said on one show, that it had started, a rumor on YouTube started that they were gonna shut the archives down, you know, and all that stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know where the rumor came from, who started the rumor, but I couldn't get down to the bottom of it. Y'all couldn't get down to the bottom of it. So either way, we need to make sure we have what we need in a nutshell. So I ain't all the way mad. Somebody said, so when are we going to create American Indian Union? That would not be a bad idea. I tell you that. Hey, we did, we did have a Western Union one point. that got turned into a corporation. Western Union was an actual thing. If you didn't know, it's just like you get European Union, the African Union. We had a Western Union. It was the most powerful. Um, it was a wartime union, but it was powerful. But I don't think we have any kind of governing board that protects us. The Indian affairs, they're kind of all over the place. They're kind of like on some, if we can't beat them, so we guess we'll let them join us. No, 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 no. We gonna come back, but it's gonna be strategic. You're not gonna get our whole family in there where we done denounce our American citizenship. If this is not a dual citizenship deal, we don't want it. But we ain't gonna send but one person from our family over there, and that's gonna be strategy too, cause we finna get everything. Okay, if it ain't dual citizenship in the tribes, in America, I don't do it. Cause why would you? Don't ever give up the citizenship where you were the first one as a citizen. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. Yes, I'm launching. It's launching on the 13th. What's your thoughts on them saying they got aliens 7 foot tall that look like us? Who said that? My granddaddy was 7 foot tall, so I don't. 7 foot tall is not really tall to me. My granddaddy was 7 foot tall. I didn't get his genetics, but yeah, my granddaddy was 7 foot. 7 foot tall is not real tall, but if they're trying to say that as if, what are they trying to say? What do you mean by that? Who's saying that? They're trying to say it's aliens that came from somewhere else that's 7 foot tall that look like us. I mean, I probably look like my granddad. I showed y'all my granddad in Who Stole the Cookies. That's my real life granddad. That's my mom's dad. He's 7 foot tall. So I don't know. There's plenty of black folk that's 7 foot tall. We got. Let me see what was that. Let me go back. Yeah, we need our representation. We do. Joshua Williams, our ancestor was 6 foot and 7 foot tall from Southeast North America. Yeah, they're not aliens. Yeah, my granddad is from Georgia. He's a Jackson. We're just where all the Jacksons from. Even the Jackson 5, they all from Stewart County. That's where my granddaddy from. Stewart County Jackson, all the musicians, all the Jackson lineage of musicians. That's where they all from. And they was very tall people. Very tall people. My granddaddy was a carpenter, and he was a 33rd degree Mason upon his death. And he died before I was born. But all my siblings met him. He died right before I was born. So, what I was gonna say? Yeah, my granddaddy was a carpenter. He built mansions. And stuff. So there's a lot of 7 foot tall. There's a lot of people that's very tall in the South. So he wouldn't be an alien. I don't know. Who Stole the Cookies is on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify. Let me see. Yeah, it's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for sure. You should see my link tree on my page. On my YouTube page. It's a link tree on there. It's all the links should be in there. All the links are in the link tree, and it's on my Instagram page if you follow me on Instagram too. No, they got a UFO detected outer space. What? So they done detect the niggas on the UFO? Yeah, shout out to granddaddy. Yeah, my granddaddy. They done detected the aliens in outer space. Oh, I know the Cotton family. I dated a Cotton at one point in my life. In middle school, I dated a Cotton. Oh, yeah, he was tall. Now that I think about it, the Cotton family. Cotton family is pretty tall people. Good people. Very attractive people. Let me see. Let me see. Let me go scroll up. Yeah, I ain't hear nothing about no aliens in the outer space detector now. Uh, somebody said you look just like your grandma. You should see my other grandma. It's almost like my grandmom's. Yeah, my both of my grandmoms they kind of had the same phenotype. They was the same. If you saw my other grandmama, my mom's grandmama, you probably think we look exactly alike. I look like both of my grandmamas. It's weird, but sometimes my parents favor. So the phenotypes is very weird. Y'all know in the South, like I think my parents' generation, they had to take blood tests to make sure they weren't relatives. That's how bad it got in the South. My grandparents were arranged marriages. Cause my granddad, yeah, he was arranged and he had to move from Stewart County down to South Georgia to marry my grandma. And then my parents, they had to stop the arranged marriage, but they had to take blood tests in order to make sure they weren't no kin in order to get married. Yup. 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 Ask the baby boomers. That's the baby boomer generation. A lot of baby boomer generations, especially from the South, blood tests. They had to take blood tests. Anyway, guys, I might pop up here because, like I said, there's some people I wanna talk about. There's an issue that's brewing in the community about Black women that I just need to put a stop to. It's a conversation that I need to have at night because there may be a little profane language involved. However, I may be able to class this up and do it in a classy way during the daytime. I don't know. I had in my mind that it was something that I was going to say at night because I have choice words for the content creators that's being pushed out in the front. How long I been on here? 2 hours and 11 minutes. I'm gonna just do it right now before I get off here. No, I'll do it as a separate show. I'll do it as a separate show. Very Jacob, if I got you. I got you. I got you. I just literally just freed my time. Literally just freed my time. I literally just freed my time, better Jacob. I'm so sorry for the delay in the books, guys. I'm so sorry in the delay in the books this month. I will make sure everybody get their books. Somebody said Freddie Jackson, Lord. Not Freddie Jackson. Hello, guys. Let's go right now. Yeah, the Jacksons is a huge family. All the Moores look alike, like all the Youngs look alike. Yeah, they do. They do. And like I said, these families were so close knit. They were so close knit that they had to take blood tests, especially in our families. Especially our families, Jay, they had to take blood. They had to take blood tests. They had to make sure these folk were no kid. But they've been there together so long. It's like we got cousins that look alike. It's the genetics are just really close. You could tell these people came from a certain area. There wasn't a lot of mixing in other races. So like a pure genetic, like a pure bloodline of people, a pure bloodlines of people is in one area, you know, where they're not. I guess they did it like if they're not fourth cousins, fourth, third, second, first, they could get married. It could be fifth cousins or sixth cousins, probably. I'm not sure. I need to go back and get the details of that. See how far apart did they allow them to marry if they weren't cousins. That's what I need to see. But you can just tell it's like pure bloodlines of people that did not go too far outside of their race. They did not go too far outside of other countries because the genetics are really just like the noses are this way, the lips are this way, the eyebrows are like this, the head shapes are like this, the body types are like this. It's a whole lot of coke bottles. Boy, it's a whole lot of coke bottles. Boy, if you go down to South Georgia, I'm telling you, all that BBL stuff, That shit was for foreigners. If you go anywhere, almost anywhere in Georgia, like you just got some really nicely, like my grandmom's had really nice bodies, really nice, slim, petite, slim frame with just, you know, and the children, the grandkids built like that too. The grandkids like that too. It's like these genetics were just there. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you for the super chat, Miss Yolanda. She said, thank you for the super chat. She said, a little something, but I need your help. I got you, Miss King. Thank you so much. Miss King, I'm gonna make sure I catch up with everybody now that I got this here. I'm compartmentalizing, okay? I don't have any testosterone, but I'm trying to like channel what men be doing with compartmentalizing stuff. I got charts that helps me with compartmentalization, so I won't be all over the place. Thank you, Ella JJ RN. Thank you. Shout out to all my nurses. Said happy anniversary. Thank you so much. Thank you, Courtney, for the super chat. Said for keep your foot on the gas. We love you for real. I love y'all back. Thank you, Roy, for need to do a history series. Okay, yes. Absolutely. 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 This is part one of Babies of Slaves. Okay. Part one of Babies of Slaves. Any Coopers from Cartersville? I know some people from Cartersville. I can't pinpoint Coopers from Cartersville. You definitely look like your maternal and paternal grandparents. Yeah, it's in your DNA. You know, it's your nuclear DNA. You got your paternal, your maternal, and then your just all over DNA, your nuclear. And I'm telling you, it's amazing how DNA works. It's amazing how God created this whole system. And it's unfortunate that man is trying to copy this system and recreate it and turn it to bots just because they don't got nothing better to do. They not having no sex, they not getting no attention, and they got too much time on their hands. So let's create some human bots. Let's make them as human as we can make them. Make them cyborgs and put them out into the public. You ain't getting no sex because if you had got your meat sucked the night before, you wouldn't have had time to do all that. You'd have been thinking about something totally different with your life to do with your life. You just wouldn't have had time to do that. That's how you know who's who. That's how you know who's who. I don't know which came first. Was this in the recent super chat? Thank you so much. I just saw a super chat come. I just didn't know. Hold on. Maybe it's this one. Laura Prove. I think that was you. We see you. We thank you. No, I read that already. It was once one of these just popped up. Was that you, Miss Smith? If so, whoever that was, I think that was you, Miss Smith. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. Anything else y'all need me to talk about before I get off here? Because I was gonna go off on those content creators who's talking negatively about Black women in order to get these Republican checks, but I will do that on a separate show. Since they're saying they're coming in November, I'm gonna say, who coming in November? What did I miss? Who coming? To my the aliens? Y'all know when we get too close to success, they say it's an alien attack. It's an alien attack. These niggas been seeing the North Gate and aliens on Bankhead for years now. Every time we put one step towards the right direction, they say aliens coming. I ain't seen them yet. Okay, and you better give me somebody taller than 7 foot for me to believe it, because I see 6, 7 foot. I can go to my hometown to see 7 foot niggas. I can go downtown Atlanta and see 7 foot people. I can go right there when the damn Hawks is practicing and go see them practicing and see at least somebody that's 6'9", 7 foot. Hell, what's the YouTuber name that stay here in Atlanta that used to play basketball? The Brown Boys. What's the Brown Boys? What? I just know his intro be like the Brown Boys or something like that. What is his name? A basketball player. Hell, he's 7 foot. You better give me somebody at least 9. You know, nah, you better give me somebody else taller than that. Ooh, that's crazy. Um, my great great grandmother has your phenotype, and we are looking for her mother. Girl, let me know, Jane. Let me know some names. I see what I know somebody. Girl, we could be fifth cousins or something, Jane. We could be fifth cousins. Just never know. Um, Janice, have you done a video on our social security numbers associated with Federal Reserve banks? I've been looking into it and trying to make connection. We can talk about it when you have a moment. I have not done a full video on it, but I have discussed it. I have discussed social security numbers. I did discuss the Federal Reserve Bank on that because I was looking up the land records that was connected to the Federal Reserve Bank. I don't know which show that is, but it's probably offline. It's probably offline. Now there are quite a few ways that you could be connected to the Federal Reserve. A lot of people who had heirs property, if the money went, just say they got your land via eminent domain. If your land was taken via eminent domain, they were supposed to deposit the money into the courthouse. If the money was deposited there, you guys never got it. It would stay in the treasury, which would then, I guess, roll over to the Federal Reserve, if it which was under the treasury was under the Federal Reserve. So, you could see some connection that way, but I was more so when I was talking about the Federal Reserve, it was based on the land. Now, I probably do need to go back and refresh myself on that information because they're talking about something about the Federal Reserve now concerning, I don't know whether they were trying to end it, but it was something that was put on the books during the World Wars, because that's when really the Federal Reserve came into place. And it was a lot of land stolen, because you got to think during the World Wars, the Army Quartermaster's Regiment got a huge stockpile of land that they're now sitting here managing the commodities on the land and putting federal buildings on the land and all that. So the Federal Reserve really turned up during that era. Banks were built on the land, all the people who bought war bonds. Now we have this new influx of land. So if you want to build your bank, if you're Rockefeller, if you're JP Morgan, if you want to come over here and build your bank, you can do it now, because you was one of the ones who put money into these war bonds. So we probably need to go back and look at some of this stuff. Now that the Trump administration is in, they're talking about the surplus of federal buildings that they need to get rid of. And my thing is, just say it out loud. If this is the nigga property, then da 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 da. So what I did was I launched a land service that was just based on that, where I was going back, looking to see who got a room over land, that they had land in their family, going back in and seeing whether any of this land was connected to specifically the world wars, and how land was taken and rolled up into the Army Quartermaster's real estate branch that got turned up during the world wars as Negroes was losing millions of acres of land. They hide all this stuff by saying you guys are from Africa. And now you see how expensive the play is, and why people like me, doors then got kicked in, military folks, random ass weird military folks that could possibly be from Africa, that's now in our US military, sending threats and following people, and all this kind of stuff. Now you can see why. If you try to get in the way of that by telling your people, hey guys, look what I found. Let's read this document together. Let's unpack it. Then, we'll see somebody to target you. It's a dangerous job, guys. Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it. True, I looked one in 1986 in PA prior to marriage. Oh, you did? Okay, Miss Wymack. So yeah. People was taking them in Philadelphia too. Dang. So that means that was an American thing then. I thought it was just something that they was doing in the South. So they was doing that all over. So they was doing that all over. Yes, I just said that I probably said that prior to me seeing your comment, Classy Pearl. But yes, I'm getting the books out this month. And I like I said, I'm so. I didn't even know where the summer went, guys. We missed a whole month of summer. We missed a whole month of July of summer just sitting on just going off on people. Planning and trying to get stuff right. But maybe that was God's timing. Maybe that was God's timing. But I got you guys. I got you on the books. I got y'all. Yeah, Bailey Hunter's very tall as well. I know some Baileys from the coast. They definitely tall. My best friend is a hunter. She my height though, so I don't know about the hunters. But yeah, we got tall genetics. We got tall genetics running all through our family. Thank you. Hey Denise. Yes, before marriage, folks went to the health department for testing. Yeah, so there you go. Thank you for the OGs in the chat that's letting people know. I ain't see him, I ain't fibbing with you. They really had to do this. Okay. Said I chose better said I love this. We all have a lot of work to do. Yeah, we really do. We do have a lot of work to do, and I acknowledge that. We do have a lot of work to do. It's gonna take us working together. I am not too hell bent on working with a lot of people who are a part of the mission to keep us um I don't know. I don't know. The people who are part of the mission to keep this information from us, to keep us distracted with other information. Now they're on this side of the fence because they see that the other side of the fence didn't work. I don't know, guys. It's a whole lot of people that we can work with. It's a whole lot of people. I'm not really hell bent on cherry picking. Now last show I was like, yeah, I work with people, but now that so many of you guys have been, hitting me up, people that I could actually see, like real people, real names, real social media pages that got more than 2 followers on it, and I can see attorneys, I can see your work, I can see this stuff, and I can see your school teacher, and I can see your name, and I can look on Facebook and see your page and see you interacting with people like real people are really trying to get this stuff together. We don't really have to go the route of getting the people who used to be Pan Africans and bringing them over here to help us because y'all can't. They really can't help. They really can't help. They really can't help. I am willing to help some of the organizations who are under the freedmen, um, because I feel like they're going to try to Africanize them, and we have the files so that they can make sure that they're not Africanized. Because just as sure as they are Africanized, then Africans will change their tune and say they're freedmen in order to be over here because the Africans want to be over here bad. Bad. The Africans want to be over here really bad. No matter how much they say about their homeland and this and that, they really want to be over here, guys. So I want to make sure if the freedmen people, someone said the last show that they did use the Freedom of Information Act to get a lot of files. So that's great. But whatever files that are redacted, I'll be able to, if they need me, I'll be able to check my system and just to see whether I have an unredacted file, that can help them out a little bit along their way. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Smith. Miss Smith said, I just sent it. My family from Turner County, Ashburn, Georgia. Girl, what? You from around my way. What? My daddy put me onto your content. He swear we look alike. What? Girl, you dark skin, chocolate, push out it, drop it. Don't get me started. I'm telling you, it's some phenotypes in South Georgia that you will get people who like look very similar. It's like be the same type of phenotype. And you got to think, my great grandmama had 21 children. My great grandma had 21 children, and our heirs property stretched from in fact, not far from Aspirin. We was south of Aspirin. We was in Atkinson County. My great lineage. By the time it got to my great grandparents, we was in Worth County, but our heirs property stretched from Atkinson to Coffee all the way to Worth. So my great grandparents had a lot of land. They had a lot of land. Aspirin could have been broken off of. I got cousins in Aspirin, to be honest. I got cousins in Turner County. So we could be. We could be. Ain't no telling. You know, I met Jay on here. Jay, my cousin. Like we met on it's so many of us. It's a lot of us in South Georgia that are kin. A lot. So Jay said she from my city exactly. Like we got people all over there. All through these counties are this big, but it'd be our family. We just had a huge family reunion down there. Yeah, I'm just shooting a bubble now. I'm taking y'all questions. We just had a huge family reunion down there not long ago. But one family reunion, they counted 5,000 family members on the Moore side. They counted 5,000 family members, and a lot of the children, the generation of children that was in their 20s and teens, a lot of them didn't even count in that 5,000 number. So we're still missing, and that's descended from the great grandmama that had the 21 children. Over 5,000 descendants. It's one of the biggest families in the state, and people still having babies. Very fertile women. If you breathe on those the wrong way, well, we pregnant. Women, it's I ain't trying to tell my mom being it, but my mama is in her 60s and she still had the ability to get pregnant. And I told her just don't be too close to my dad, because I'm not don't turn this stuff into a ghetto operation where I'm in my 40s and I got a little sibling. So you niggas need to separate. Clearly, I don't got time for that. I'm not finna raise no your kid. But y'all need to chill. My parents been married 45 years. And my mama can still have children, and she in her 60s. But her parents was like that. All her mama sisters was like that. They was all able to have babies way up, you know. I think my grandmother had my mom when she was 39, 40 years old. So very fertile, very fertile. Thank you for the super chat, Joshua. I appreciate it. Joshua said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Any more questions right here, guys? Phoenix City, Columbus, yeah, family. I have that's my dad's side of the family. My dad's side of the family is from Columbus area. But look, the Columbus area family, a lot of those families were old military, like Indian military. And I know you see it today, it's like the army is there. I think the army rangers are there. But prior to all of that, you had old military people from the Creek Sex, old military people from um what's the tribe that's right across in Alabama, not Coosa, lower Alabama. Um I tried to slip my mind. The lower Alabama tribes of Indians was also in Columbus. The lower Georgia tribes of Indians was also in Columbus, because Columbus is like an ancient military area, which is why I think it was targeted by the army in order for them to set up shop there. They didn't have to set up shop in Columbus. They set up shop in Columbus because it was already a military city. So it's easy to take over some shit that's already set up for military. And I think there was a mercenary brigade that was down there in that area for the longest. That was the only mercenary training camp in the world down there, not too far from Columbus. I think they done shut it down now. But yeah, that's a ancient military area. So you talking about some real killers came from down there. Some real killers came from South Georgia. I'm telling you. You talking about all the Choctaw, a lot of Choctaw men. You had a man down in southern Alabama. He was running a big brigade. He was running a military school down there in Talladega. What's Talladega? Is Talladega in Lower Alabama? Hold on, hold my mute. I think it's Talladega. Uh, I might be tripping. It might not have been Talladega. I might be thinking about something else. Yeah, I think it was Talladega. City of oh, that's a pretty website. Go on, Talladega. Oh, they got a pretty website. You just took me to Talladega website. Pretty website. Yes. Girl, this was an old nigga military town. It was a black man during the Civil War running one of the largest military brigades. Look at that pretty website. Go ahead on, Talladega. Go ahead on. Yeah, they spent some money for this website for sure. They spent some money for this. This is no AI, child. Trust me. Go ahead on. They got Dale Earnhardt up here. I heard that. I ain't mad at y'all down there in Alabama. Go on, Alabama. Rise, Alabama, rise. I was looking for military. And a funny story before I get out here. Old military base in Talladega. That's what I'm looking for. It's not Anniston Air Force Base. I'm looking for McLean. No, it's not it. Let me see. Military base. Talladega Balance Silver. Now I got these files on my computer. I just don't feel like digging through these files to get it. Yes, it is. There's no military base. Yes, it was. It was. Fuck. Cause I got files. Now Google trying to tell me some shit that I know for a fact was there. Cause I got the files. I followed through a long time ago. Talladega, Alabama. Maybe it was Civil War. Civil War. I just need a map of Alabama. I tell you exactly what it's at. Map of Alabama. Anyway, it was a Negro man, colored, darky cinnamon, copper colored Indian man down there in southern Alabama. That man was marching so many niggas. The Civil War didn't never go down to South Alabama or South Georgia, really. This is notice where it hit now. Notice where them Union soldiers did not come in. Yeah, I'm not. They ain't come to Alabama damn near at all. They didn't step foot to them country bunkies in Alabama or them country bunkies in South Georgia. Cause you know you're gonna get killed. Didn't do nothing in Florida either. Cause you know you finna die. You finna die. You is finna die, boy. These niggas down here marching them by the thousands. That guy in southern Alabama, he was a chief. A black, darky chief. It wasn't Immaculate because Immaculate was before him. But they was kin. So he was from Hitachi Creek, Mikazuki, but it was southern Alabama. But that was our kinfolk. But either way, I said all that to say this. Those sectors of men, the descendants of those men, all colluded in the Columbus area way before the army even took that area over. The descendants of these people. So it's a toughness there still to this day amongst men in that area because you got to think of the spiritual realm of all of this, right? From a spiritual side, a spiritual aspect, You want to go in these centers, spirits don't die, okay? My spirit is going to be very sweet, but it's probably going to be warlike as well because this is what I study. I'm not, you know, um, opposed to studying war. But the church song told us to lay our burden down. I never laid my burden down by the riverside. It never did. And so you got to think these men, these old warriors, they never laid their burdens down by the riverside. So their spirits are still very warlike. So you're the army, you can sit there and channel that energy. And I even think the army got a spiritual sector where they sit there and channel energies, channel warlike energies. They've been doing that for a long time. We just don't, because we better. You better go look at your old granddaddy, great granddaddy. Look at these men, see how these men protected. Start calling their name, asking them who, what, when, well, how, who mess with you, how can you protect them, how can they protect you as you go forward. Map of Southern Alabama, because somebody else is doing it and calling these men name why they do it. And that's why they have these Civil War reenactments and Revolutionary War reenactments. All they're doing is seances where they're calling these old Negro names out and asking them for protection as if they're descendants of these people. See, this stuff goes by energy. If you're a spirit, you can't see, you can feel. So it's intention, it's intent and energy. Map of Southern Alabama. That's what I'm looking for, right? Because I just got to get this done. I ain't gonna be able to go to sleep unless I tell y'all who was who. Let's see. Cause I'm be thinking about it all night. Was that Talladega? Was that Talladega? Am I tripping? Cause Google just told me I tripping, although I knew I wasn't tripping because I called that Talladega before I even Googled it. But it could have been another city under another name. I think it was Talladega, who had an old military college. Let's see. Crenshaw, Clark, Monroe, Kanika. That's where the sausage at. Good sausage in Kanika. Covington, Geneva, Dallas, Lowndes, Montgomery, Macon, Bullock, Russell. That's where that big black plantation that where all them 4 black families own the Russell plantation in the county is called Russell. Then you had Choctaw down there, Choctaw County. Shit, what city is in Choctaw County? Choctaw County cities. Butler, Gilbertown, Silas. Is it Silas? Toxie, Nisman, Pennington, Needman. Silas, Alabama, town in Choctaw. Silas was a chief, but this could be something totally different. I think it was Talladega. Town was struck by a tornado. Damn, down tree. See demographics, racial makeup 71%, and they just be putting shit on here. All this shit be a lie. Choctaw High School. What am I? I'm looking for. Okay, unincorporated communities: Berrytown, Blanding Springs, Cromwell, Edna, Jackin, Melvin, Pushmont. I know I ain't tripping. I know I ain't tripping. Look at this, guys. That he's a chief. There was a chief named Silas, Negro chief colored, cinnamon colored. And then look at one of the unincorporated areas. Now the Push Matlaha is Imatlaha's relative. These people was in southern Alabama. Now unincorporated, please be you not to see these unincorporated places is just heirs property that nobody took. It's just heirs property that nobody took, really. Pushmataha, who was a chief, unincorporated community in Choctaw County, Alabama. It's named after I just said that. This was a nigga. I'll tell you right now. He was a deep Negro, darky colored. He was a Negro, darky colored. Okay, and his descendants was still marching large militaries of men out of this southern Alabama region up during the Civil War. They were still marching large brigades of men from down there. They was not beating these men. They was not even trying to fight them, if I'm being honest. They was not fighting these dudes. I think Push, he was killed on the sneak attack. I think he was poisoned. Push was poisoned, wasn't he? They didn't kill him straight up in no battle. He was poisoned. If I ain't mistaken, he went up to Washington for something and never made it back home. Him and his another chief that went with him. They was poisoned. They didn't make it back to Southern Alabama. They got killed on some sneak shit. Just like strong people get killed on some sneak shit today. They never kill these boys one on one just in their face. Never do it. They never do it. They always kill you on some sneak attack. I love this, guys. I love just random. That was very random, guys. I'm in that one, Janice. Are you my client? Wait, I know one of my clients was attached. I don't know whether it was you or not. Could have been you, but what? I got clients that's these warriors never died. They still got family all over the place. They still got family all over in Alabama. People still there. They just keep telling these people you're nothing. You didn't have no good history. You just came from Africa on the boat. Nah, baby, tell them what they great granddaddy was doing. Tell them what their great granddaddy was doing. He said, "Yeah, it's me. Yeah, this has made me slow my roll. I wouldn't go put you out there like that, but baby, these people still alive. These people still alive. We still here. We never left. We're still here. You just be telling these people, hey guys, look, you came from Africa. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. These was not darkies. No, I got files of them calling this man a darkie. You know what Imathala nickname was? Imathala nickname the guy who my family is buried on the land today in South Georgia. The guy nickname was Jim Boy. Imathala, the Seminole that they trying to say was white, who in that area they wouldn't even let white people down there. Who is to me a Marine, and the Marines probably even talk about him, Imathala, who was killed in a boating accident in Louisiana when they was pushing them off their land when they was going to inspect the other land that they were supposed to move some of the people to. He was killed. Him and some of his kids were killed. The rest of his kids, who was not on the boat, was alive. But his nickname was Jim Boy. Jim Boy. Now I know they wouldn't call him no white people boy. That lets me know one or two things. His actual real name was either Jimmy or James. So Immortally was just his Indian name. He just one or two things. If his nickname was Jim Boy in these same records, then that means his ain't Jim either Jimmy or James. Yeah, so stop playing with us, man. Now I can go through some records now. You're not finna play with us. We gonna look at all the records. Let me show y'all this last thing. I've been trying to get offline, guys. I've been trying to get offline. I just need to talk to y'all more than one day a week. I think that's 1 to 2 days a week. I think that's what it is. I need to start coming on here more. Okay. So that we won't. But I like live. I like long lives too. So, let me see. I want to show y'all something. But then we're going to get off here. this one I want to show y'all how I got to that file on the website. Right, or he was Jim's son. Exactly. Okay. I told y'all I put in Asiatic in order to get to that file. I put in Asiatic Indians because, like, the website is, like I said, the website is changing. That's why I was telling y'all not to even go to the link because it's gonna be done changed. But I think I'm gonna keep it like this for one reason. Okay, where it says places lived, you can put almost anything in this field right here. And I think I'm gonna keep it this way because the more fields I have them put up, the less records come up, and you need all kinds. You need to be able to pull all kinds of records from this. This database is really for our researchers. So you can put first name, middle name, last name, birth year, or death, and places lived. Or here you could type in Asiatic Indians. I typed in Asiatic Indians, hit search, and this is what came up. Asiatic Fleet, and this is what I just read to y'all. But it's a lot of stuff that came up. American policies towards China. I've read that too. I read a lot of this. Like I said, this is probably something that's pulling from my database with CIA in the Pakistan situation report. By putting less fields, you get to search more files. So in essence, right? We're pulling from the same files Ancestry is pulling from. But because they have more fields, you're not going to see some of these files, or they got the files blocked out in the code where you can't see them. We don't have anything blocked out in our code where you can't see it. We have it. So it's hard for me to explain because I'm not a developer, but I know what's going on with them building the back end. You can build it in a way where people can only pull from certain files, but I don't want it that way. I want it where people can have access to anything that we could legally have access to, if that makes sense. So it just say something happened, guys, and I get a facility, right? We don't know. Never know what the future holds. Maybe some big investors see what we're doing here and be like, you know what, we do need a facility. Let's launch the first black, Negro colored, cinnamon, copper colored archive facility. Okay, the American Bureau. Okay, the U.S. lineage. American Lineage Bureau is what we'll call the facility. You know, the American Lineage Bureau facilities is black owned. It's colored. These are indigenous owned people, and they're dark. Just so we get funding to do that. I'm still gonna be pulling for NAR file, but NAR file is not just ancestry. Cause see, because of what happened to us, we got to go beyond ancestry records. You got to go into some of these CIA records in order to know what was bombed. In order to, you got to go into some of the FBI files. You got to go into some military records, especially if your stuff is up under the DOD. You got to see it. So we can't run just an ancestry site. We have to run it like a bureau where we can research everything, guys. So the developer is a darkie. I'm a darkie. So far everybody who's involved are just a bunch of darkies putting this together. As best as we can, to make sure it's right, it's the right way. Where we can see and pull from everybody's files. So yeah. Yeah, so and we're pulling, and that last update I got from them, we was pulling the census records too. We were pulling all the census archives too. So that's the last update I got. The site is launching on the 13th though. Somebody said, "I'm so proud of you, sis. Thank you so much, guys. We're on to something." No, American is right. This is right. It's right. It ain't too bad. They gonna know who's who. Oh, you gonna know who's who. Well, that's why I got the. That's just why I got the domain as U.S. Lineage. So U.S. Lineage Bureau, and it's made for indigenous. So you know who's who. You know, we did get into semantics on the petition. Okay. But with these companies that we on, you never know what this will turn into, guys. That's what I'm saying. You know, work with us here. You never know what this will turn into. We can turn this into anything. We can turn this into a whole nother branch of restaurants. Guys, if you got restaurants, if you got barbecue trucks, if you got barbecue pits, any kind of thing, send us all of that info, guys. All that'll be on the website. For the girls who are braiders, which I'm supposed to start a daily show. And damn, I might have to start that tomorrow then. I'm supposed to start a daily show with American braiders. If you are an American braider, if you do hair, period, any kind of business that you got, make sure you send it to us, because this stuff is going out via email. Like, y'all be getting emails from me saying, hey, come on live. We're going to be sending out emails saying that same thing. Hey, guys, here's a braider here. Here's a braider here. It's going to be the same thing, guys. We're going to make sure we fight back against this whole, oh, your wealth is going to go down to zero. No, we're going to make sure we support each other. We're going to make sure we support each other, see who's who in our community, put some money their way. And that's that. I went and supported a black-owned company Sunday. This group of cooks, this restaurant that ain't been too long opened up. He was all the way down there in what was that restaurant? It was in Henry County. But they from Milwaukee. And boy, them folk can cook. Boy, them folk can cook. When I say them folks can cook. But I'm going to do a whole review on their restaurant. I'm going to go back and get something else that I wanted that they had already ran out of. But I'm going to go back down there and support them again. You know, and I asked them before I even put in the order, hey, where y'all from? I said, cause y'all got the nerve to be in here cooking oxtails. Where y'all from? And the main chef started laughing, cause their restaurant is, you know, they just have this like glass thing, although they're in the storefront, and then all of them are, they can see everybody. So when I asked where they from, he was like, yeah, we from Milwaukee. We can really cook. Our roots are from the South. I was like, oh, I was just making sure y'all wasn't no foreigner, no Africans in here trying to cook some oxtails. And they all started laughing. I like to kind of make people laugh, and so it won't seem like I'm so serious, you know. But although I was dead serious, because if they said they African, you know what I would have did? I turned around and walked out. I'm not finna eat nothing from them. Anybody who was raised in the village cannot cook for me. You niggas ain't clean. You're not sanitary. You're not sanitary. Y'all cook with y'all feet out. We don't cook with our feet out. And I don't give a damn what village you're from. We don't cook with our feet out. That's just what it is. Y'all cook bare feet on the concrete. I'm not doing that, because you don't know sanitation. We all consistent to wash our hands when we cook over here in the mirror. Consistent. Y'all got to go fetch a pail of water every time you wash your hands. That lets me know you don't wash your hands that consistently. I'm not going through that. I'm not finna get no food poisoning. I'm not finna get no no. I'm not finna get streptococcus. I'm not finna get nothing that can come with me getting a disease from eating food. Salmonella, none of the nellas. I'm not doing it. So that's just where I am with it. I'm not eating no dog meat. I done held y'all hostage 3 hours, and most of the I did an hour just talking. But anyway, if you here is the email address. Hit us up on this email if you got any kind of business that you want to share with us. Hit us up, contact uslineage.com, uslineage.com. This website is launching on the 13th. However, I can send out emails. Everybody who signed the petition, I'm allowed to send emails to. So I can start out by sending people who signed the petition an email of your business or your product or your service. I can start out by doing that before the website even launches. So, and everybody who signed the petition, they would get an update from for when the site launches as well. If you're an attorney, if you are a politician, if you want to be a politician, if you're a college student, if you're whatever, please reach out. If you got any ideas on the site, if you got any ideas on, you know, the American Lineage Bureau that you want to share, please feel free to share those ideas. So yeah, that's that, guys. That's all. I ain't want too much with y'all. This is just part one. I ain't mean for it to be 3 hours, but it is what it is. I love you guys. If all hearts and minds are clear, I will see y'all tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Okay.